Nation Friday Night Knicks happy hour edition, special edition of Knicks Fan TV. We got my man Anthony MSG in the building, longtime season ticket holder, diehard Knicks fan, the Knicks blog originator in the building. And we're going to talk Knicks, man. We're going to talk Knicks on this 8-game winning streak, this hot streak that we're on, and we're going to take calls from the fans, man. Just chop it up like the old days. And Ant, how you feeling, bro? Thanks for joining the show.
What's going on, CP? I'm feeling pretty good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm ecstatic that the Knicks are on this 8-game winning streak. I'm ecstatic. We've been playing good basketball all year. I'm ecstatic that it's the springtime. I'm going to be wearing shorts to the Garden tomorrow, and the game matters.
It matters, bro.
Man, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Bro, when was the last time? I mean, it was 2012-13, right? When was the last time
if you go back to
this good, man?
CP, if you go back to the 2013-2014 season, when the year after we lost to the Pacers in the second round, that year is supposed to be a huge year. You brought in Bargnani, Bina Udrih, Ron Artest. Of course, that didn't last. And we played so bad the first half of the year. We ended up winning 9 in a row to kind of close the season, and we missed the playoffs by 1 game that year.
Yeah.
So that spring, we had a few important games that mattered, but really the 2013 season.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's been remarkable, bro. Honestly, I didn't think the defense would be this good, and now the offense is coming around. You know what I mean?
Man. I mean, obviously, when you hired Tom Thibodeau, you hope the defense is going to be great. You go back to his Minnesota days, the defense was not great there.
Yeah.
The defense was great in Chicago. It was great when he was an assistant in Boston and all that. So you hope the defense was going to be good, and it's been sensational. And the reason why I thought maybe it could be going to the season, I looked at these Knicks players, and I said to myself, who could potentially be Thibs guys? I look at, even though he's been hurt a lot, Mitchell Robinson, Julius, and obviously nobody knew Julius Randle was going to play this good, but I did think Julius Randle could be a Thibs guy. They brought in Taj Gibson, a Thibs guy, Derrick Rose later on, a Thibs guy, Elliot Burks, Elfrid Payton, even though Elfrid Payton isn't exactly the greatest point guard of all time, you could tell he's a Thibs guy. So I'm not that surprised how great they've been on defense. Offensively, especially lately, they've been awesome. You go back to the Hawks game. Yeah. They said, we could beat teams slowing you down 90 to 85. Oh, you want to run too? We'll beat you 140 something, 130 something.
But 137 points up on the Hawks, and during that 8-game streak, they've been second in the league in offensive rating. So now the offense is starting to pick up. I love the fact that, in that light, Reggie Bullock is starting to let it fly. He's torching the Nets. Quickly's had 2 back-to-back good games. How about Derrick Rose, man? The Derrick Rose pickup, I think, has been the key to this run. What do you think?
Yeah. Derrick Rose in the second half on Wednesday was sensational. Derrick Rose to close the game versus the New Orleans Pelicans on Sunday was great. Derrick Rose has been great. He knows his role. He's not Derrick Rose of 10 years ago, and Derrick Rose knows that. Tom Thibodeau knows that. And he's been a leader. He's made the right plays. He's been really savvy. You look at that play he did where he found Reggie Bullock to tie the game on Sunday. That was a great basketball IQ play, as well as a great play call by Tom Thibodeau. I mean, this team has this, regardless of what this team does in the playoffs, whether they win a round, win 2 rounds, win 3 rounds, or even just get to a game 6 of the first round and lose, and of course we'd all be super sad.
Right.
This team, and especially when you factor what's happened in the city the last 14 months, this team will be in our hearts forever.
And that's all it takes, man. That's all it takes for the city to rally around you, man. Work hard, play hard, win games, and just show that you care, man. And the effort is there. You've seen it every night. And I think the biggest thing is that your leaders bought in. Julius, again, he's gone on with Woj and said how much this team saved him. And he was looking for a coach in Thibs that was going to hold him accountable. You really don't hear that from a lot of these prima donna guys that, just want to get the bag and just want to play and not be told what to do. Julius is 100% invested in this coach, and that trickles down because these younger guys are looking up to him. The way he looked up and respected Kobe, and Meta came on and talked about how Julius grew up in front of his eyes, from the Laker days to now. So I think that has a big impact on this team's success right now, bro.
I thought, and I wasn't sure, I don't know Julius Randle personally. Like I just said in my last statement, I thought that Julius Randle had the potential to be a Thibs type of guy. Again, did I know he was going to be this good offensively? No. But I just looked at him and I'm like, he has dog potential.
Yeah.
And then you hear what he said on the Woj podcast. He wanted a coach to hold him accountable. I think Fizdale, they all want him to be boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got rookies on the team calling him Fizz.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, yes, and saying he wanted a coach to hold him accountable, that was huge. And bringing in a guy like Thibs, who's going to do that? So that's why every player, every athlete is not meant for a Tom Thibodeau type of guy.
True.
I equate what Tom Thibodeau is doing to the Knicks right now. It's kind of like what Tom Coughlin did for the Giants.
Yeah.
You know, when he came in, he probably had to tone it down a little bit.
Right.
But he still, gave them the business.
Yeah.
And I think, most of the Giant players back in those days, from Strahan to OC, Eli, all those guys, they all bought in. And kind of like this Knicks team with Thibs, they've all bought in.
They bought in. And I think the contrast between Thibs and Coughlin is that there weren't any egos that Thibs had to deal with coming in. Whereas Coughlin had to get Strahan on
that Giant
and
team
get
had some
Tiki
personality.
together. You know what I mean? So it was a tough job. But I definitely agree with you just in terms of just bringing that structure and bringing that order. Come to work, play hard, fight hard, and success will come. And this is where they are, man. 6 games over 500, 4th seed in the East. It's been crazy, man. You're a season ticket holder. It's been a little bit different this season with COVID. I was there for the Kings game. We were there hanging out. But what's been the overall vibe, just being there night after night and just feeling the energy at the Garden?
So unfortunately, it's 2,000 fans every night. I've been at every home game since they opened that Tuesday night versus the Golden State Warriors on February 23rd. And I hate to say I've gotten used to it. I can't wait till they allow more fans. I think for the playoffs, it's going to be 25%. I'm lucky that I've been able to go to every game. The vibe has been great since day one. I would say the first 2 to 3 games, there was a nervous vibe from the fans. I think just from being back in social settings.
Yeah.
But if you look at the way it is now at the Garden, it's a lot more lenient. You can walk around the hallway and say hi to people. I'm sure you got a lot more people getting vaccinated now. Obviously everybody there is COVID tested as well. The vibe in the Garden has been amazing because as I've been saying, it's the people that work on Wall Street that make billions of dollars that are in the suites eating, caviar are not at the games. You know what I'm saying? It's us.
Yeah.
It's us real ones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why you're seeing all these videos after the game of these people just going nuts. And a lot of these videos are a lot of probably 17 to 24-year-olds. And at least us, CP, granted, we've never seen a championship. We've seen success in the 90s. We saw the Knicks go to the finals in 94. We saw the Knicks have a great team in 97 and we lost to the Heat in the second round. We saw the Knicks get to the finals in 99, losing the conference finals in 2000. If you're a fan that age, all you have is losing to the Pacers in the second round, Melo getting blocked by Roy Hibbert, Lynn's sanity, and an 8-game winning streak with Amari. I mean, that's all you got. You got nothing.
Nothing.
You got nothing.
Nothing, man.
So these kids that are leaving the games, I mean, I'm just as happy as them. Also, I'm not drinking at the games that much. There's definitely probably some alcohol involved.
Yeah.
You see the way some of these
could
fans are
definitely
acting
hear
after.
that. You could definitely hear that with 2,000 people, man. You could definitely hear it.
But it's fun to see, man. You walk out of the game, literally, CP, I am slapping 5 with 100 fans in a row. It's so amazing, man. I know tomorrow's vibe. It's a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Going for 9 in a row. We haven't won 9 in a row since March of 2014. The vibe tomorrow is going to be electric.
It's going to be electric. It's going to be electric.
It's going to be electric.
Absolutely. And the thing is that even though it's 2,000 people, like, there's still the energy in there. You could still it still feels that same energy of a sold out crowd. It can still get that loud. So it was great to be there. I'll be there Monday. I'll be there Monday against the Suns.
Okay.
So
I'll be there.
Yeah, so we'll link up and do the damn thing.
Up. And it looks like restaurants are open till 12 now.
Yeah.
So if we have to eat after, we go grab something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We don't
also,
although the deli was fire.
Yeah, the deli was good. The deli was good, man. But overall, like just being out in NYC, and that was really the first time I was kind of out, in public in a while. And NYC just felt like the set of I Am Legend or something, man. It was a ghost town.
We watched a fight on the corner of 31st and 8th. We still don't know what they was fighting over.
We still don't know what they were fighting about, man. But
I think it was over somebody laughing at somebody.
Yeah. It's that sensitive, man. The pandemic has got people on edge, but overall good time, and we'll see what happens tomorrow if they extend it to 9 and then into Monday against Phoenix.
Unbelievable.
part of
and Monday's game is a battle of the Coach of the Year candidates, by the way.
Yeah, Monty Williams, former Knick,
Tom Thibodeau,
former Knick, man, against Thibs. So
number 2.
so that should be a good matchup.
Out of
Definitely
Notre
looking
Dame,
forward to that.
Came in with Charlie Ward.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Charlie Ward, the last Knick rookie to get a second contract. Which is crazy.
It is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah. Who you think is gonna break the curse, man?
I mean, I'm not in the Frank hive. I certainly don't hate Frank. If Frank is here for 5 years, I don't care. I mean, got new braids, might as well. Maybe Frank is
part of the braids gang.
Unless Frank gets big money from somewhere else. Kevin Knox is not going to be.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett should be. Mitchell Robinson should be.
Yeah.
Although with the way we're playing without Mitch, maybe he becomes more expendable in the future. And you just give him the Wells some money and it's bringing another big. Or you keep big number 14. So I would say it's probably going to, if you're going to bet on it, I would say RJ.
I think it's
maybe
RJ.
Frank. Yeah. Kevin Knox, I doubt it. I want to root for Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox got me so hyped in the 2018 Summer League. I was ready to put his jersey in the rafters. He had a couple putback dunks in that Summer League in 2018. I'm like, yo, this boy can play.
Kev had us all gassed, man. Kev had us all gassed.
My opinion on Kevin Knox, and I've been fortunate the last, to watch the games very close to the core. I just think that the talent is there, and to me, it feels like he's sleepwalking out there.
Yeah,
but then all of a sudden, you'll see Son grab a rebound, go 94 feet, and dunk on somebody from the foul line.
Yeah,
and you're like, the hell? He was just
typical
sleeping
Knick,
the last
man.
10 minutes on the court.
Typical Knick. I think it'll be RJ.
RJ's the lock.
I'm just not sure if they keep Mitch, man. I'm just not sure. The way they're trying to build his team.
I used to be sure.
Because you're going to need pieces,
still young.
bro.
Nerlens is not, he's not an old geezer.
Nerlens is still young, and when they do pull the trigger on a star trade, you're not trying to put RJ in that deal, and you're not going to try to put Julius in that deal.
RJ and Randle should be here to stay.
Right.
And that's how you build a core.
Yeah.
And so, the Knicks have done a million things wrong in the last 20 years. And one of the things that hasn't happened in Knickland at all is any sort of stability. Now, granted, you can win a championship and the next year you're bringing some new players. That's part of sports.
Right.
But at some point, you have to have guys stay here. So you get a guy like a Julius Randle, have him stay here. You keep RJ Barrett. You keep, even if it's Frank Ntilikina, you got to eventually get guys to stay here. Obviously, you won't now. I don't want to even think about next year right now as we're about to be in the playoffs. But at some point, you got to get guys to stay here, and you build a culture. And you get guys like a Julius Randle and RJ Barrett that have been here 4 years, 5 years, and they say, "Yo, come rock with us. We're getting there." You can't just keep changing the entire roster every year or two, or keep changing the coach every year or two, changing the president, changing the GM. That doesn't work,
bro.
We'll never see what Greg Popovich has done with the Spurs, right? But hopefully Tom Thibodeau could be here 10 years.
Hey,
I mean, that would be amazing.
They gave him a 5-year deal, and so far, year one, he's earning it. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll definitely see what happens. Now, again, part of the memories for you being a Knicks fan and being a long-time season ticket holder has been the times that you've gone with your sister. And your sister is no longer with us. She, lost her battle to cancer. Just tell us about, what those memories are like and how the Knicks were involved in helping you guys and really supporting your fight.
Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously, my sister didn't root for the Knicks like me. I mean, nobody really does. I'll never forget a few years ago, Mike Breen said to her, "Are you a big a Knicks fan as your brother?" And G said, "God, no."
Yeah.
And Mike Green said, "Good, because your brother's nuts." So I brought G to her first Knick game when she was 4 years old. And she loved every second of it. And G has been coming to Knick games with me since 2003, 10, 15 games a year. She rooted for the team. She cared. And if you go to the Garden a lot, it's a lot of the same people that work there, from ushers, security guards, team employees, and it's a family. And people there watched her grow up. They watched her come to the Garden at 4 years old. They watched her beat cancer the first time at 12 years old. And they watched her be in remission for 7 years. And she got to know so many people there, especially her favorite player, Allen Houston. And I got this picture next to me. So this picture was in the year 2000. So when G was, I would say...
Hold it up again. Let me throw it up in the camera. Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
Yep. So this is from the about December of 2000, my senior year of high school. So G was about a year and a half, and the picture was on the fridge, and G would see it, the picture, and then she'd see Allen Houston get buckets on TV, and she would be like, "My boy, my boy, my boy."
Oh, that's right.
Then I brought her to her first game a few years later, and she wore the number 20 jersey. And then a few years after, as I started to work in sports, I developed a very close friendship with Allen Houston. And the first time G got sick, he was there. He was always there. He was at the hospital. He was always praying. And then over the last 7-8 years, always stayed close with Allen. Every time me and G's at the game, she always hangs with him. And then when G had the stroke, one of the first people at the hospital was Allen Houston. He was there. I didn't put it on social media. It wasn't for that. Allen was there. And there was times, especially like after the stroke and after she was diagnosed with glioblastoma, I would meet up with Allen at the Garden, and we would go into back rooms of the Garden. He would pray. Him and I would pray together. And then, take it back to June 18th. On June 18th, obviously G had a rare form of brain cancer called glioblastoma, which is basically unfortunately not curable. And it came with a stroke also. So not only was she battling the cancer, she couldn't walk. And the way she went about this fight was like 90s Knicks to the, millionth power. She was so tough, man. And on June 18th, they said to me, "We recommend stopping treatment." And I was her power of attorney, guardian, medical proxy, everything. So they said, "We recommend stopping treatment." And then that night, I was FaceTime with Allen Houston. And he's like, "Let's do a prayer." And I don't remember, half the words of that prayer, but I remember towards the end, Allen said, "Father, when it's time to take her, please make sure it's painless." And then she ended up living 2.5 more months after this. They said she was only probably going to live a week. And then when she passed, she did pass in her sleep, and it was painless. And, Allen Houston's role with me and my sister throughout this whole thing has been absolutely incredible. And, especially the fact that he was one of my heroes growing up. And I always thought from a distance, I'm like, man, this dude's like a good dude. And then I got a chance to meet him. We developed such a great friendship. He's always checking in on me like once a week, all the time, sending me voice notes, encouraging me to, keep her legacy alive, and, always telling me I have a purpose. And Allen's been sensational, man.
Man, that's incredible. That's an incredible story, man. Salute to H2O. And yeah, as you said, growing up watching him, you could always tell like he was a good dude. But you guys, you definitely got to know him on a personal level, and what he did was definitely commendable.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, we were going into like back rooms of the Garden to pray, and like I said, I'd never forget that night when I called him. I said, "Al, like they're stopping treatment." And obviously you didn't have to say it's almost over. You knew. And I just never forget when he said, "Father, when you take her, just please make sure it's painless." And it was.
Man, well, it's definitely send my condolences to you again, and just take
and
it
if
one
you
day at a
believe,
time.
and if you're and CP, if you or anybody listening believes in good energy, the Knicks have not lost a game since G's staff was at the Memphis game and the Raptors game 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. You took that, or you guys celebrated
The
at the game.
Knicks organization,
yeah.
They gave the first on Friday night versus the Memphis Grizzlies. We brought 6 of the nurses from the Children's Hospital. And then on the Sunday game, we brought the other team. We brought her main doctor, radiation guy, art therapist, massage therapist, nurse practitioner, our social worker. These are both groups we've known for 10 plus years, all of them. And if you're one that believes in good energy, good karma, the Knicks have not lost since our team has been there.
Wow. That's dope, man.
Really and everybody knows, like, there's nothing that can make me happy right now except the Knicks winning. And G knows that. So, there's a lot of people that have been hitting me up saying G has something to do with this, because that's literally the only thing that can make me happy is the Knicks winning right now. And it's happening.
That's dope, man. That's a dope and beautiful story, man. Wow, that's incredible. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP Anthony MSG in the building. We are talking Knicks. It's also a mailbag show as well. We're gonna get to some of your calls in a second. Remember, the Discord is available. The phone lines are also available. So give us a call, 657-383-1509, and the Discord is also available. We got some Twitter questions coming in, and so the people are definitely excited about this one. Let's go to the phones first, though. Let's go to Ron from Baltimore. Because he was down for this, man. He sent 2 questions, and now he's calling in. So let's give Ron from Baltimore the first question. Ron, how you doing, bro?
CP, you got a Knicks legend with you right now.
Absolutely, absolutely, bro.
So special. You both are legends, but and since you've been out of it, CP's my guy, but too, and but I've been calling Ant for years, man. Ant is a special person. He's like family. He's about the right things. He loves the Knicks. Huge fan. I'll tell you just a really crazy story. I went to Anthony's place. I came from Baltimore to New York just to watch a game with him on television when we beat the Celtics in the playoffs in 2013. That's how passionate we are about this. But
his family's strong.
I just have a question.
Very strong family.
Yes. I have 2 questions for Anthony. To me, when I hear Thibs talk, I feel like I'm back in the 90s, and maybe I'm just being sentimental because that's what we love, and everybody listening to this loves those 90s teams. But I just feel like since he was here, when he talks, the no nonsense, but you're going to have to earn your minutes. Nothing is given. We got what we deserve tonight. Just like I feel like there's just no nonsense that I can sleep well at night. I want to get your thoughts on that, and also I don't want to look too far ahead, but to me, we all know point guard needs to be addressed, and that's in the future. To me, Kyle Lowry feels like a New York Knicks type of player. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, on the 90s thing, remember Thibs was on those staffs with Jeff Van Gundy.
It's from that
and
tree.
There's no getting around the fact we didn't do a lot of winning after Van Gundy left. So, of course, all of our great memories as Knicks fans go back to those days. And Thibs is kind of like a Van Gundy clone. It's almost the same mannerism, same stuff. Obviously, Thibs has been coaching more the last 15 years, so he's opened up his offense a little bit. Where if Jeff was coaching now, I'm sure he would as well. I don't think Jeff would have the point guard walk it up and dump it down in 2021 every time. But I know what you're saying. When you watch Thibs, you think of Jeff Van Gundy, you think of those late 90s teams, and just his attitude, his no nonsense, and even he has some humor too. So I get you feel a safeness with Thibs that we haven't felt probably in 20 years. And I loved Woody. I didn't hate D'Antoni. I never felt safe with D'Antoni. I felt kind of safe with Woody. Didn't feel safe with Fisher. Didn't feel safe with Hornacek.
No.
Damn sure didn't feel safe with Fizdale. Didn't feel safe with Larry Brown. I feel safe with Thibs.
Yeah.
And as far as your other question about point guard, you don't have if you could, as a basketball, if someone who knows basketball, I like to think that I do, CP does, you do as well, you could totally understand why Thibs trusts Elfrid Payton. Now, Elfrid does play great defense. He does know how to run an offense, quote. Now, as a fan, when you're at the games and you're watching on TV, of course, it drives you nuts that Elfrid is literally like 7 for 800 on shots in the paint. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most of all the frustrating things the Knicks have done the last 30 years.
From 3
Elfrid
feet
Payton,
out, bro.
missed shots in the paint.
Construction worker.
They do drive me nuts.
Construction worker from 3 feet out, man. That's the thing that kills
really,
me. Payton,
it's really, but you could understand why Thibs trusts him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the shots in the paint, my Lord.
Kills me, bro. Kills me. I'm with you. Thibs comes from that Van Gundy coaching tree, which is the Riley coaching tree, which, they want guys working hard, right? I mean, the Heat, you got to come in peak physical condition.
They
or
be
else,
testing your body fat.
Yeah, or else you're gone. And Thibs is that way. And all these guys came in ready and prepared, and that's Thibs. I think it seems like he's learned from the Minnesota stint. I had John Krasinski on from The Athletic who covered him with the Timberwolves and said that, it seemed like Thibs was buried in the playbook and not really concerned with maintaining play relationships and things like that. Then you hear what Julius Randle says. He says, this is the guy I want to play for. He's a player's coach. He's a softie.
All the players love him. You can
All
tell.
the players love him now, right?
Not quickly walking in with a T-shirt with Thibs on it,
Right. So I think the whole CAA thing has something to do with it as well, like with Leon and Wes and Thibs and everybody being on the same accord there. And then you have the Kentucky connection with Kenny Payne. also there. So I think overall they've done Woodson, a player's coach, known to be a player's coach, and so overall I think they've done a great job of just putting a symbiotic group together, and that's paid off on the court. That's definitely paid off on the court. On the point guard thing, Lowry, okay, that'd be fine. Yo, I'd like to say, can we find somebody for the future, bro? Can we find somebody that's gonna be here 3 years?
You go
longer,
into next
bro?
year and the team is like, Lowry's the missing piece to win a championship.
Right. Yeah.
I get it. But if we're not quite there just yet, I'm still not against Kyle Lowry. We got to see what happens in the offseason. But he's been in the league since 2006
He's done
now.
his days, man.
Got a lot of tread on the tire.
Yeah, I'm not going. I want the future in. I want the present and the
me too.
future.
I don't know if I love Lonzo as much either. But it's not going to be Elfrid Payton. I don't think. No. I love to keep Derek. As long as Thibs is coaching, Derek Rose.
I think he'll have a role. Yeah. I think Rose will find a role on his roster, man. 100%.
Todd Gibson going to be 50 years old. On the Knicks. 14th man.
They're gonna have Taj in that Udonis Haslam lifetime contract.
Exactly.
100%.
But Taj has been great this year.
Taj has been good. Yeah.
Taj's been great for his role is incredible.
Yeah. I didn't want Taj to leave, bro. I wanted Taj to be here.
Not at all.
And it was making $10 million, so I understood it financially. But I'm like, yo, Taj can still help us. Tibbs is here, so no brainer.
He's still really good. That's the thing about Taj,
he can get the locker room together. He knows his role. Right? When he needs to do more, he'll give you a little bit more. When he needs to just settle in and get the other guys involved, he'll do that as well. Set some screens.
You got to start him. You can start him.
Yeah,
you got to play him 10 minutes, 30 minutes. He's going to get on the floor.
Facts.
He can make a shot here and there. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to get blocks. He's going to play tough defense. Taj Gibson is a Knick.
Taj goes 12 rounds. He's a 12-round boxer, man, what he's playing, man. So salute to Taj. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. All right, let's switch up and go to the Discord. Let's go to Tommy Midnight. You're about to be live with CP and Anthony MSG. Tommy, how you doing, bro? Yo.
Wait, we here?
Yeah, you live and direct, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm live and direct. Okay, hold on. Let me just get this speaker on.
All right. Where you checking in from, man? Australia?
No. No, I'm from London, UK.
Okay.
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, man. Listen, I just wanted to talk about one thing and one thing only, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's D Rose.
You still there?
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Yeah. We waiting on you, bro. Get ahead.
Yeah. Listen,
speak on it, brother.
I'm trying to get you on a speaker here.
No, you don't want to be on a speaker.
No, you don't want to be on the speakerphone. Just talk directly into your set, bro. We can hear you loud and clear.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm a 40-year-old dude. I remember the Ewings and the Starks,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember the pain of almost getting there,
Yeah.
And I know that we really, really haven't really been anywhere really until this last run that we've just had of 8 games. Man, I'm excited again. And that's cool. But what I wanted to talk about was D Rose is actually, I don't think he's being talked about enough. And what I mean by that is that he's on a hot streak as far as I'm concerned. He's 33 years old. And usually a load of people, they would usually say that a guy in 33 years old, and remember, half of his career has been injured, right? But we're talking about an MVP caliber player. A guy, he won an MVP. He was injured and that ruined his career kind of. But now he's back and he's on form and he's doing things. I don't know, maybe at one point he might even become a starter, yeah? But what I'm saying is that Derrick Rose, with the experience that he has, I think he's bringing a lot more to the team than people are talking about.
100%. 100%, bro. And yeah, you hit it on the head with Rose, man. Even at half of who he was, you could still see how much of an impact he's having on this team, especially on the second unit, especially with Quickly. You see in his chemistry with Toppin, because Rose can push that pace. He's the opposite of Peyton, who's the slug. He's slowing that pace down. Rose is getting him out, and he's getting him out in transition as best as he can. That benefits Obi. It benefits Quickly by having a more reliable ball handler on the other side that can get Quickly his shots off ball. So Rose has been a key for this run, definitely.
Well, what else I want to say is that, now with the age that he has and the experience that he has, his game has changed too. So,
Yeah.
now that he's fit, let's pray that he doesn't get any more injuries. Yeah, because if he stays fit, I think that his experience. Did you see the last game against Atlanta when he went 6 for 6 on the FGs?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Six
and
for
that
six,
that
man.
last that 6 point that six FG, he just did a floater from the side, like it was like vintage Rose.
Yeah. Absolutely right, man.
So
Absolutely right.
so I
Rose
think
has been big.
we can sit here now and we can say, oh, this could happen, that could happen, blah blah. But Derrick Rose could happen, is what I'm saying.
No, Derrick Rose
Yeah.
is happening. I mean, Derrick Rose has been
It's
great.
happening.
Yeah,
There's
he's
no doubt
happening.
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no doubt that he could start. And the reason Thibs brings him off the bench is kind of like what CP was talking about. In the starting lineup, you have scoring with RJ Barrett. You have scoring with Julius Randle. You have the slug in Elfrid Payton, but usually Elfrid, first to the bench, and then you change the pace, and then you bring in Derrick Rose, you bring in Quickly, you bring in Obi Toppin, and that just bring in Taj, and that just makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense why, and trust me, in the playoffs, Derrick Rose's minutes are probably going to go up a little bit, and most games down the stretch, it's Derrick Rose closing. It was Derrick Rose who found, Reggie Bullock last Sunday.
Right.
It was Derrick Rose who had big buckets on Wednesday down the stretch. Derrick Rose is running the team down the stretch as well. And remember, it's not always about who starts, it's about who finishes.
Yeah, and I just hope that, when they get closer and make this playoff push, that Thibs manages the rotations wisely and that, Derrick Rose can handle the increased minutes, because it seemed like whether it was after COVID or just, being older and wanted to watch his wear and tear, it seems like they've been kind of monitoring his minutes. So
as they probably should.
Yeah, as they should.
With
but
him, yes.
There's no doubt, man. Derrick Rose's impact on this team, he can't be understated. He's been incredible, and it just goes to show you what competent point guard play can do for this team. How much it can elevate. And again, it's not a knock on Payton, but what Rose is doing is just head and shoulders above what Payton is doing, and it's what we need to move this team forward. And that's part of the reason why the offense is
Derrick Rose makes
up
winning
to
plays. End of games, Derrick Rose is making winning plays. He's making the right plays. He's getting great baskets, and he's finding the guys for big shots.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the end of game situations, closing situations. We saw that one against the Pelicans on Sunday where he found Bullock for the three to put it into overtime. I think having Rose out there to close as well gives us an option, a more reliable ball handler, so that you don't have to go to Randle in isolation and settle for that. Maybe you can have Rose set him up, or have Rose get a better shot, a better look at the basket on the drive. So I think he can add a different dynamic in closing situations as well.
And Derrick can get his shot whenever he wants.
Right.
Obviously he's not a great outside shooter, but he can create his shot 22 feet out. He can get to the paint and get fouled.
Mid-range has been pretty good.
He can make that little runner. He can, if we need a shot, Derrick Rose can, him, guys like Alec Burks, of course, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, they can create their own shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very important that Derrick Rose can do that.
Absolutely, man.
Especially in the playoffs when the game will slow down.
Facts. All right, let's go to a Twitter question. My guy David Futternick out there in California. Shout out my guy Dave and the LA Knicks crew. He says, he sent a Twitter question. He says, what is your favorite game that you've ever attended at MSG?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's easy to say my first Knick game was April 2nd, 1994. Our 16th straight win. I was 10 years old. But, excuse me, my favorite Knick game I've ever been to was the first playoff game I ever went to. Was May 12th, 1999 versus Miami Heat, Game 3. It was a cool story. So that season, it was the lockout season.
Mm-hmm.
And when tickets would go on sale, my uncle would always take me to one or two games, and my grandmother would order the tickets. So when tickets went on sale that year, my uncle was mad at the lockout, and he said no games this year because he was mad at the players and the owners.
Yeah.
So I was like, man. So then my grandmother got on the Knicks season ticket wait list when I was like 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a Monday night. I believe it was May 5th. We had to play the Celtics that night, and if we won that game, we clinched a playoff spot. So I get home from school that Monday afternoon, CP. And there's a letter in the mail from the Knicks addressed to my grandmother. I was raised with my grandparents, by the way. So obviously I wasn't just going to open my grandparents' mail. But it was from the Knicks, so I opened it.
Yeah.
And the letter said, Dear Jeannie, because you're on the playoff ticket, the season ticket wait list, you have won the right. Now, mind you, there's no StubHub and any of that stuff back then.
Yeah.
You have won the right to purchase tickets to games 3 and 4 of the first round. All you have to do is call Ticketmaster with a code, and the code was NYK and you have to buy both games, though, games 3 and 4.
Yeah.
That's why I showed it to my grandmother. You know, she was in a wheelchair from having a stroke a few years prior. So she's like, listen, I got no problem. I'll even pay for him, but your uncle's got to take you. So I called my uncle. I said, listen, we got this letter in the mail. It says we can go to the playoffs. And if we win tonight, we're probably going to play Miami. So my uncle's like, all right, cool. So we got tickets to games 3 and 4 versus the Heat. So not only I was so pumped to go to a Knicks playoff game, but it was versus the Heat in 1999.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that was?
Of course.
So one of my favorite moments ever as a Knicks fan was about 18 minutes before the game started, right? I was, I snuck down by the court. I was like 10 rows from the court. And you see the whole Knicks team on Garden Vision. And they was blasted New York by Rakim. And then they got into the DMX chant. And then they took the court to Super Thug. The chills, CP, man. I can't explain the chills I felt through my body for that moment.
Yeah.
And then, like, after they played Super Thug, they played Hate Me Now. And they played Holla Holla by Ja Rule. So the beats were on point. The music was on point. The energy was ridiculous. We won the game 97-73. Tim Hardaway got ejected. It was the whole Garden was chanting Riley sucks.
It's a good old days, man.
What a moment! What a moment that was, just being at that game. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
that was just
the Knicks Heat
my
rivalries.
First playoff game versus the Heat.
Yeah.
Man, you couldn't make that up.
Yeah, the Knicks Heat games always get you going, man.
And we won. We went on like a 35-2 run in the second quarter. The Garden was, there was no social media. Nobody was on their phones. And then Spree was the sixth man.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool because as soon as the tip-off started, everybody's yelling, put in Spree, put in Spree. As soon as Jeff called him, Spree runs to the center court and the place is going crazy. So that was my favorite, game I ever went to at Madison Square Garden, without a doubt.
The thing about Spree was like, yes, Starks was coming to the end. It was still hard to lose Starks.
It was,
as
a fan, but from so two things on those two trades. So the Spree for Starks trade I knew was a great trade.
Yeah.
But I was heartbroken because Starks was my hero.
100%.
My hero. Like when I was a freshman in high school on the freshman team and John Starks' grandmother was sick, I had John Starks' grandmother's initials on my wristband. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that broke my heart, but I knew it was legit.
Right.
I am proud to say, and I know, I don't know how you feel about it. I know he was on the show. Mm-hmm. So I am very proud to say that when I was 14 years old, when the Oakley for Camby trade went down, I always loved Marcus Camby at UMass. Just thought he was a cool dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when we got Marcus Camby, I was on the MSG Network message board when every Knicks fan was crying. And granted, Oakley was still good.
Yeah.
I said, this is a great trade.
Yeah.
And my 14-year-old ass was getting crushed on the message boards on MSG Network. Remember those old message boards?
Yeah, of course.
Nobody was on my side. And I was like, yo, we're finally getting, because that was the first time in my life as a Knicks fan. Well, I was 14 and about to be 15. We got somebody like young and good.
Yeah, right.
It was a few months before Sprewell.
Right.
So we had a bunch of old guys. We finally got to,
it was time, man.
Harper,
it was time, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, Allen Houston was young. We'll be like, yo, we got somebody young and dope, and he led the league in
young and on the rise. Yeah, young and on the rise, and the Camby putbacks and dunking on people's backs.
I was ecstatic when we got.
Yeah, man, I definitely love the Camby trade. Definitely love the Camby trade, and Spree became a fan favorite very fast. Coming off the whole thing with PJ.
You remember his first preseason game? It was a Wednesday night versus the Nets, and all the tickets were free.
No.
You remember that?
No.
The same night, though, St. John's went up to Syracuse and beat Syracuse for the first time in ages. Bootsy Thornton had like 30-something. Ron Artest had a big game as well.
Shout out to Ron,
it was a great Wednesday night in January of 1999.
Yeah. Shout out to Meta, man. Meta was on the show a couple weeks ago, so it was definitely good to have
that squad. By the way, that St. John's squad is one of my favorite teams.
Oh, I love that squad. Love that squad. Eric Barkley, Bootsy, Ron, LeVar Postell,
Tyrone Grant.
Was Grant the big man? Who's the big man? That was Grant. That was Grant, right? Yeah. That was the squad,
that loss
man.
to Ohio State
crushed me, bro.
That broke my heart.
Crushed me, man, because I really thought they had a chance, man. I used to go to Alumni Hall, go to the games, or at the Garden,
I
yeah,
went to
man.
St. John's UConn at the Garden that year.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
That was a big game. The
Khalid
St. John
El-Amin and
Dukes.
Khalid El-Amin and Richard Hamilton.
Yeah, man. The St. John Duke clashes were always classic.
Ron sent the game to overtime.
Yeah. And he talked about that.
It was a great game.
Yeah, he talked about that on the show, man. So, yeah, that St. John's team, I really wish they would have went far, man. Salute to Mike Jarvis as well. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP and Anthony here reminiscing. Salute to Ron Hansley, our guy Ron Hansley. Anthony says, salute to the bro Anthony MSG. He's the reason I got to hoop on the Garden floor. Granted,
What's
I
up,
shot
Ron?
0 for 1 and got fatigued after a few fast break plays. But my guy's really making dreams come true out here. Salute to Ron Hansley. Season ticket. I believe he's a season ticket holder, but he's at
Yeah, I
plenty
see
of
Ron
games
all
as
the
well.
time at the Garden.
Yeah, he was just together this week, right? This
Yep,
past
I
week.
saw him the other day. Yep.
Yeah,
On Sunday.
salute to Ron Hansley. Another super chat came in. I'll find that question, but I don't see it on my dashboard here, so just hang tight. All right, let's get back to the phones. See who wants to chop it up with Anthony MSG. Let's go to my guy Ayo Pal, another one of the LA Knicks squad. Ayo Pal, what's going on, bro?
Was really good, man. CP and salute to y'all, man.
What's good, bro? How you
What's
doing,
going on,
man?
my guy? How are you?
I'm doing really well, man. Been a Knicks fan since '92, but at '92 I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
No, not seven. But like the other day, my teen years was like during the Starberry era. So I seen the whole spectrum of like good Knicks when they were just good from like really terrible to now. So I'm like, the new young fans now are very blessed to be seeing RJ Barrett, and they get to rock that kind of jersey growing up. Because I had Sweetney. So, but anyway,
You actually had a Sweetney. You know what's funny?
Point.
You bring up Michael Sweetney. So when I was interning at ESPN Radio, right? And I remember there was some talk that maybe we could get like Kevin Garnett in the trade. I mean, it was probably never going to happen. And I remember I was screening the calls for K, Stephen A, all them guys, and you would get like, under no circumstances do you trade Michael Sweetney, even if you go and get Kevin Garnett in his prime.
Oh, my
Because
Lord,
Mike
bro.
Sweetney has a nose for the ball.
Oh, my Lord, bro.
So, man, some of the takes, and we've all, because we've been so bad for so long, sometimes we've all had some horrible takes.
Sure. I mean, listen, we've been fooled by a lot of these guys, man. Sweetney was an animal with Georgetown, man. He was an animal with Georgetown. I thought he was going to come in and do the same thing. But, that wasn't the case for him, man. Fell in some hard times, too, so salute to Sweetney.
He did.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to you for having the Sweetney jersey, though. Big number 50.
Big 50, man. Big 50.
I thought Maje Lampe was going to be the next Dirk.
Yeah, I thought that was KP before KP, bro.
Word.
What other?
He had a big preseason game in DC in 2003. And
I remember that.
Never did
anything.
A friend of mine who worked for the Knicks at the time said that Lampe hated the lighting in the Garden.
What?
That's all the information I got. He was like, yeah, I used to talk to him, and son always said, I hate the lighting. I think the lighting is good for shooters there, but what the hell do I know?
Yeah, what do we know, man? Go ahead, pal. Go ahead.
Man, I know. I mean, see, like it's funny you were talking about the message boards because like I'm moderating the community here, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. Because like we're getting like, a lot of young people with like some crazy takes, so it's just really funny you said that.
Yeah.
But my question is, how did you get started on this thing? How did you set it off? Just being like, how did you get your career off to the point where you can live off your fandom with the Knicks? And CP can drop in on this too. And just a bonus question, just a selfish one on my part. What's like your go-to dish, or like what's your go-to food and drink situation when you go to the Garden? CP, can you give me that answer too, man? Salute to y'all, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, to answer the last question, to make it simple, well, before pandemic or now? We'll go before pandemic. Luckily, I'm blessed. I usually eat in the Delta Lounge. I'm very blessed with that. But if I have to go to the concourse, I'm going with the pastrami sandwich and a knish. It's from like the Carnegie Deli.
Yeah.
Nice thick pastrami sandwich, some deli mustard, the knish. You got the mustard with the knish too. So that's what I'm going with on the Actually, and also the new chicken sandwich with Mike's Hot Honey.
All right,
those are my go-tos on the concourse.
All right. I mean, I'm with you, bro. If I get the plug for Delta, I'm in Delta all day. All the food is
of course, and that food is from Tao.
Yeah, All the food over there is exquisite. If not, no disrespect to the workers on the concourse, I'm waiting and I'm going to Pizza Supreme after the game, bro.
Okay,
You already know. You already know.
If he asks for Supreme, I'll give you my go-to slice.
I'm just gonna wait it out. I might grab some chicken fingers and some fries if I'm real hungry. But if not, I'll eat a little before the game, and then I'm going to Pizza Supreme.
Remember Ranch 1 chicken fingers?
Yeah, 1,000%, bro. Ranch 1 was popping, and you would always smell that honey mustard, man. That honey mustard was potent from Ranch 1, man. Yeah, Ranch 1 days was popping. They used to have like the little, real skinny fries.
But the super bougie line is funny. Is is she known as Knicks Chick on here, Maria?
Yeah.
Like we was talking the other day. It was like I've only paid for food on the concourse like 3 times in the last 10 years. Sorry, y'all, that was kind of bougie. I'm still real, but I just had to keep it real on that one. But as far as like my career, I was 20 years old. I got an internship at ESPN Radio. Mm-hmm. I worked with Brandon Tierney, Stephen A. Smith, Michael Kay, Don LaGreca. I ended up getting hired. I helped produce the pre- and post-game shows for the New York Knicks. Brandon was the host. I was his guy. So I was in the garden. I was in the locker rooms when I was 21 years old. Now, as far as the locker room stuff, I didn't love that. And I always say this to my good friend Ian Bagley. I don't want to be Ian. I don't want to be Frank. Well, definitely don't want to be Frank. But I wanted to do something different. And they used to tell me sometimes at ESPN, going back to like 05, like you're not yesterday, like 15 years ago, you can't be in this space and promote your fandom. But I said, this is what I'm gonna.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that a while ago.
Yeah. And I eventually got my own platform with SNY. And throughout my years at ESPN and being at the Garden, I built so many relationships because I'm just a goddamn lovable dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I built so many great relationships. The first show I ever did in 2005 that I paid for the airtime, John Starks was my first guest. So, and I got no uncle that's high up. I'm not James Dolan's nephew. Like, I just worked my way up. I've literally been to almost every Knick home game for the last 20 years. And then when I started my own show on SNY, shout out to Tommy D. He gave me the platform. There was no money to start. He was like, yo, do what you do. You got the platform. I was having current Knick players call in, former Knick players call in, Spike Lee, Jeff Van Gundy. I remember like a day after a big game, like Jamal Crawford call in, Zach Randolph, David Lee, Jim Boeheim. I had Anthony Anderson call in, Fab, Jada, Action Bronson, Jerry Ferrara. I mean, the list goes on. I had Jada freestyling on the show. Spike Lee. I have had Ron Artest many times. The list goes on of big guests I've had, and I just did it all on my own, just like being around the garden, building relationships, meeting somebody even in the street, introducing myself.
Yeah.
And then eventually you put out a lot of good work, a lot of good content, and eventually money comes eventually, and you start doing some events, and you just figure out how to turn it into money. Yeah. And it took some time, but eventually it works out. And I'm kind of here now. I got a show on the MSG network. Hopefully I'll be doing some more content with them down the road. And it's been a long grind. I've been doing this really since 2005. Yeah. So it's taken a while, but I'm here to stay. I'm not trying to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the sky's the limit, and it's hard. And right now, it's a tough space. So I feel what helps me is that I've been established for a while. But now I would say CP is at the top of the list right now. But there's so many. There's 6 billion Knicks shows now. Yeah. So you have to figure out, how are you going to separate yourself? Why am I going to go to this guy? Why am I going to listen? Is he plugged in? Is he entertained? Does he get good guests? Does he know what he's talking about? Is he funny? Is he real? So you have to figure out, especially now more than ever, figure out a way to separate yourself from the pack in order to be successful, especially now in this extremely crowded space.
Yeah, definitely crowded space. I would definitely agree with that. But as you said, as long as the passion is there, the money and everything will follow, or to be able to sustain yourself, I guess is what Powell was saying. All of that will follow, but you got to start with the passion and then put the grind behind that. And I've definitely experienced that along the way, and just enjoying the journey. Enjoying the journey.
It's all enjoying the journey, man. Yeah, enjoying exactly enjoying the journey. It is a journey. I'm still enjoying every second of it. I still seeing my first time, I've been in a lot of MSG commercials, but seeing my show for the first time on the MSG network, that was one of my goals when I was one of my dreams. It wasn't even a goal when I was a kid. It was just a dream to be on the MSG network. You know what I'm saying? So like Alan Hahn wrote about me in his book.
Yeah, shout out Solo. Shout out Han Solo, man.
I've been on this grind for a while, and I've done it my way. And, so many people that thought my way was crazy 14, 15 years ago, now asking me for tickets all the time.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's go to the next question. And we got Pavlo G. I think you remember Pat.
Of course,
he's on
I've known Pablo
on Twitter.
10-something years probably.
He says, and we got asked this question the other night after the Hawks game. He said, what do you like most about this team, and would you rate this season better than 2012-13 or the Linsanity year?
Do I like this? Wait.
What do you like most about the team?
What I like most about the team is that they're young.
Yeah.
So the 2013 team, I guess you knew Melo was going to hopefully be there for 4 or 5 years, and he was, and you thought we were building something, and unfortunately we weren't. We thought we were. Mm-hmm. This team, I love it because it's a shock, first of all. Mm-hmm. I love our coach, and it's a shock. And also what we're going through as a city. The city's down right now. Mm-hmm. The city's hurting. The city's crying. We need this.
Yeah.
This city needs this uplifting. So that's what makes me and all Knicks fans, I think, love this team even more. Because this city, we need it right now.
Yeah, 100%.
So, 100%. And then the Linsanity, to me, that was a 2-week thing.
Yeah. Linsanity
was
fun,
pan. And I was there for it all. It was fun. But that was the 2-week thing.
Yeah.
The 2013 team, I definitely loved. I can't say which team I like better. I mean, I did love that 2013 team. I love Melo and all the vets, but you knew that team had to win that year or basically the year after.
Yeah.
And then for this team, you could, if things go perfect, you could have RJ and Randle for 7-8 years.
Yeah.
So it's tough to say who I like more, but maybe this one a little more because of the whole shock value also.
Yeah. I would say for me, Knicks tape season was just special, man. Number one,
it was. Oh, absolutely.
Being at opening night,
the ending was horrible.
The Heat. It was horrible. Yes, it ended horribly.
Horrible.
It ended terribly. Don't get me wrong, but
Roy Hibbert,
to start the season off, washing the Heat at home. I was at that home opener.
Yep.
Hate the Heat. When we ran through them, seeing Melo have success with a team of vets.
Yep.
Rasheed Wallace, one of my favorite players on that team. Kurt
Yo,
Thomas
Rasheed, you want to play some?
Yeah, come on, bro. Knicks tape was special. 54 wins. I mean, yes, there was expectations there, but I don't think we expected 54 wins in the second team, the East. I mean, they started the season off watching the Heat. I mean, they beat the Heat, I believe, 2 out of 3 times that season. It did end terribly. It ended
3
terribly.
out of 4.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4, they beat
yeah.
the Heat.
Melo went down there and dropped 50 on them before the playoffs.
Facts. That's a fact. So I think that team is still my favorite team of the last 20 years. This team is great because, like I said, I had low expectations for them. And whenever you have low expectations and they blow past it, it's been fantastic seeing how they defend and just how the chemistry.
And how they're winning.
And how they're winning.
Of the 8-game winning streak, 7 of the 8 have come down to the last minute.
Facts.
And think about this, CP. Now, obviously, we easily could have lost the New Orleans game. Mm-hmm. We easily could have lost the Memphis game. Mm-hmm. But you look at that Minnesota game we blew, both Philadelphia games, the Boston game, the Brooklyn game.
Left a lot out there, bro.
I mean, I think it was the last time there was a game in the fourth quarter where you could say to yourself, okay, we're just not winning tonight.
Right.
It was probably that Miami game a month ago at the Garden. I think it was a Monday night.
Yeah.
When I think Miami just kind of dominated us for the most part. And it was Monday night. That's right. And that was the last game that we lost where, with 6 minutes left, you knew we were losing. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
They've been in all of them, man. They've been in all of them. And yeah, like you said, they left a lot on the table. That Boston game still gets me. The Minnesota game definitely pisses me off.
Both Philly games.
Yeah, both Philly games. They
losing
had a
on
chance
a call
to win.
on that Sunday night at the Garden.
Yeah.
A call away from the ball.
Ridiculous, man. So yeah, you could have had a lot more wins. A couple more wins on the table.
But then also, I also do feel it evens out because then Reggie Bullock could have missed that 3. or
Yeah.
RJ could have missed one of those free throws. So I do feel they tend to even out usually, you know.
For sure. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button.
By
for
the
you
way,
boys.
RJ hitting those three, obviously that Memphis game, RJ hit the layup to tie it.
Yeah.
But to me, what was more impressive was the possession before him knocking down all three free throws.
The free throws were clutch, bro.
The marbles that took were incredible.
Yeah, the three free throws were clutch. The game tying layup on John Moran. I saw that. When I saw him driving on Moran, I said, all right, this is good. We're good.
Yep.
We're good. And then he hit a big 3 in overtime as well.
Yep.
Hit a big 3 in overtime. So shout out to RJ for coming up clutch for us, man. 20 years old, man. 20 years old. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Now the super chat is coming from our guy, Chris Shamus. He says, happy to see you guys on the same screen talking Knicks together. I appreciate you guys. New York forever. Salute my guy, Chris Shamus, another lifelong season ticket holder. Yep. And we did, for those of you in the chat that don't know Chris, we did his fan cave episode on KnicksFanTV. So shout out to Chris. Once everything subsides, and I got to get to your crib, but we got to check out Greg Armstrong's crib as well. I got to get to Fred from Fresh Meadows. I did an interview with Fred from Fresh Meadows as well. Got to get to Fred's crib.
KnicksFanTV cribs.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. And we did Ryan's crib. We went to Brick City, we went to Newark, and did Ryan's crib as well. So that was fun while it lasted, man. Hopefully we can get back out there once.
It's hard to top Chris's though, I feel.
Bro, Chris is incredible, bro.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, as dope as I've been to Greg's house, and mine is good, but you're not topping. Nobody's topping Chris.
Chris is his crib,
and not that it's a competition either.
But. Yeah. His setup is unreal. Chris's setup is unreal, man. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out. I saw someone, Mac Alexander, in the chat said that he ran in RJ today. He said RJ was shooting a commercial.
Yeah, I think in Terrytown. I think he sent me a DM. I think in Terrytown.
Okay. So salute to RJ. Everybody doing their thing on the day off. We got 2 days off, which is kind of rare with this schedule, man, with this condensed schedule. So
Thibs was out to dinner with Woody in the city, apparently.
Yeah, you had the Woodson going away party looking like. And
I've been to that restaurant. I went to that restaurant.
Which one is
with,
that?
My friend Eric and Kenny Anderson like 3 years ago. Elio's. Great chicken parmesan.
Okay. I got a chicken parm waiting on me downstairs in a little bit. So we're going to get to some more calls and rap shortly, man.
A late night dinner for you.
Yeah, late night dinner for me, man.
Where's it from?
Spot on Long Island, Pizzaiola. Pizzaiola out here in Long Island, man. So it's usually my weekend vibes. You know, like I said, when I get to the city, it's Pizza Suprema. I'll do a little Joe's. We'll do a little Umberto's. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, Pizza Suprema, bro. That's just my go-to.
We could do it on Monday. Why don't we do it on Monday?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but how long are they open until? Are they open late?
We got to do it before.
We got to do it before. Yeah, we got to do it before.
Get there early. We could have a little Aunt CP pizza party.
Well, yeah, we might have to do it. We could maybe stream a pregame.
We could. We definitely. I can make that happen,
bro. All right, cool.
I can make that happen.
Cool. Definitely keep you posted on that. All right, let's go to the Discord. We got to go to my guy, Gotta Be Legend, man. He's checking in from Costa Rica. He's one of the pivotal moderators we got on the Discord, man. Been showing me a lot on this thing. Gotta Be Legend, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's good, CP? What's good, Anthony?
How you doing, man?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
I'm hanging in there, man. Right, take it 1 second at a time.
I hear you, man. I'm in the middle of my shift, so I'm just going to call in real quick because I wanted to mention something yesterday, but now that you're here, I'll mention it now. I wanted to know, actually, what do you think about the next 12 games? The Knicks right now, they've won 12 of the last 17 games. So I think the Knicks, with the last 12 games, they need to win at least 8 to get at least 41. What do you guys think? Do you think they could get to 41 wins?
The next 8, let's look at the schedule. Look at the schedule. So to everybody in the chat.
I got it right here.
That thumbs up.
I'll read it to you.
Yeah, run the game.
Toronto, Phoenix, Chicago, at Houston, at Memphis, at Denver, at Phoenix, at LA, and back home at against San Antonio, Charlotte, and Boston. I think the next 5, the toughest one is probably going to be Phoenix, Denver, and Phoenix. If we can beat Phoenix this on one day, we could win. But we got to split those 4 games, those last 4 road games that we got.
All right, and Gotta Be, your connection was kind of choppy, bro, so I'm going to just disconnect you. But appreciate the call, man. Definitely appreciate the call. Shout out to you out there in Costa Rica holding it down. Go ahead with your point, Ant.
Well, listen, you never know what can happen. Basketball is funny. So you could, the Suns are substantially better than the Raptors. You could lose to Toronto and then beat Phoenix.
You could lose to the Bulls.
Of course, you could lose to the Bulls. Absolutely. We lost to the Bulls in Chicago a few months ago. That was an annoying loss. So it's tough to say what we're going to do. I really believe, just like in life, you should take one day at a time, 1 second at a time.
Yeah.
We're going to make the playoffs, but we have to take it one game at a time.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is start thinking about, I'm thinking about the Memphis game, or I'm thinking about when we're in Houston, or we're in Denver, or Phoenix, or the 2 LA games, and we're back against San Antonio. No. One game at a time. I don't know what our record's going to be. Nobody thought we were going to win 8 in a row.
Yeah, it's facts.
So it's tough to predict what's going to happen. This whole season since opening night has been unpredictable.
It's been unpredictable, man. It's been absolutely
so
unpredictable,
I'm not going to make a prediction. I am just going to enjoy every second.
Well said.
For us to keep that number 4 seed, you probably want to win 80% of these games. We'll probably have a bad loss somewhere in the middle of these games.
Yeah.
Hopefully we go undefeated. That's probably not going to happen. But it's tough to say what we're going to do. But if we take care of our business, hopefully we can be that number 4 or 5 seed. Obviously 5, you're not hosting game 1 at home, but hopefully we can hold on to that number 4 seed. That would be incredible. And I think if the Knicks are number 4 seed, that should lock in Thibs winning coach of the year, by the way.
Yeah, 100%. If we lock in the 4 seed, Thibs definitely deserves that.
That should lock it in.
Definitely deserves that.
Unless someone doesn't give it to Thibs because, some, security guard did something funny.
Well, as you said, Monty Williams, and I was on Sportsnet 590 in Toronto, and we talked about that. Monty Williams could be a candidate. Well, he's got the Suns in the 2nd seed out west. How about Quinn Snyder, Utah Jazz? Got him at the
Of course.
number 1 seed.
All guys who are deserving.
Yeah.
But who would have thought, but here's the thing. You look at the Suns. They have DeAndre Ayton. They have, Devin Booker. They have Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So it's not like, is it that much of a surprise? Like, they should be that good.
Thibs is doing a lot with a little.
The Spurs, the Jazz.
Jazz, yeah.
Every year they're at the top of the Western Conference. So are they a little bit better this year than we thought? Sure.
Yeah.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought the Knicks would even make the playoffs, let alone possibly hosting game 1 of the first round at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden.
True story.
That
Thibs
right there
doing a lot with
locks
a little,
in head coach of the 2020-2021 season, Tom Thibodeau.
You're right, man. Lowest payroll in the league. Thibs is doing a lot with a little. You're definitely right on that.
It's funny you say lowest payroll in the league. I never forget, man, when our payrolls were so
the
crazy.
highest.
And I remember just being like an ESPN, and we would just be on Hoops Hype all the time, reading the contracts. And you'd see the contracts. You see Jerome James, 6 years.
The highest and the worst team.
Jerome James.
Jerome James, bro. Jerome James.
He was a character. I don't think he played more than 12 minutes in his contract. Son was a character.
Bro.
He was a character.
It was just crazy, man. It was just one of those. It was a typical Knicks situation of overpaying a guy. Jerome James had an outstanding run with the Sonics in the playoffs. And I was watching. I was like, yo, he's nice. Who is this guy? Isaiah was like, I want everything. Give me that guy.
But then we signed Jerome and then get Eddie Curry a month later.
Yeah, and then go get Eddie Curry.
It made no sense.
Can't make it up. Can't make it up, man. I think this West Coast trip is really gonna determine where the seeding is. At Houston, at Memphis, in Denver. Yes, they don't have Murray, but it's still mile high, and they got Jokic, who's the MVP.
We never win in Denver.
We never win in Denver. Then you got to go.
I'd sign up.
Phoenix.
Listen, CP. I'd sign up for 3-3 on the West Coast right now.
Yeah. You got to go at Phoenix.
3-3. Finish this home trip even 3-0, even 2-1. But give me 3-3 on the West Coast.
That would be best case scenario, honestly. At Clippers, and maybe no Kawhi, we don't know. At Lakers, could have a LeBron James coming back with AD and Drummond and those guys trying to get ready. Then at home, you got a San Antonio game wedged in there, and then 2 pivotal games, one against Charlotte, and then closing it out against Boston. So nothing is locked in, man. They're in 4th right now. They could very easily be in that play-in.
You can't start thinking about 5 games from now.
Yeah.
One game at a time.
True story. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's see who's in there vibing with us. Somebody said KP got injured last night with a injured ankle. How does that impact the Knicks pick? I mean, that would be That would
Yeah,
make a
good, that's
special
right.
season even more special if we ended up with a playoff spot and still in the lottery.
Yeah, things like that don't happen to
That
us. So
doesn't
that would
happen
be-
to
that
the
would be
Knicks, bro.
incredible.
That does not happen to the Knicks. So KP got injured. There's also an article out there from Mark Cuban saying him and Luka Doncic don't really get along. So I don't. There could be chemistry issues.
I thought they
going
were
on in
best
Dallas.
buds. Remember,
Yeah.
remember the night before the KP trade, Dallas was here.
I was there.
Him and Luca was all winking at each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. That was a crazy night, man. That was an absolutely crazy night. And I think was you there? Were you there? It was Greg was there, the same bar we go to after the game. But I left, and then Greg told me that Mark Cuban came in there.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
I did
that
not
Mark
know
Cuban
that.
came in there, and obviously he knew what was going down because the next
Yeah.
day the trade was announced.
And then the next morning, I remember Woj tweeted like KP isn't happy, and I'm like, that's weird. He's been out all year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
5 minutes later.
KP, and it said KP demands a trade, and I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, KP wasn't a Knick anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, what? It all
Bro.
happened so, and I'll be honest, I was devastated.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Me too. I was tight.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved KP.
Yeah.
Like I never thought I could. I love the Knicks just as much now as I did when I was 12 years old. But I never thought I could love a player again, and I loved KP.
Yeah.
I loved him. I loved he was charismatic. He could play. I was worried about his durability, but as a fan, just a straight fan,
Yeah.
I love this dude.
We had hope in
I made him a
KP,
get
man.
well card.
Yeah,
And I brought
yeah.
it to him at his crib.
Yeah.
I love this guy. And all of a sudden, KP, all of a sudden, like KP's out, and then all of a sudden he wants a trade, and he was traded in 30 minutes.
Yo,
Like,
it was
oh
a
my
domino
God.
effect of tweets. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Wait a minute. And then, like, what was just like, yeah, like you said, he's not happy. Then it was like, he's requesting a trade. Then Ramona Shelbourne jumped on him. Was like,
All in like 2 hours.
within 2 hours.
It wasn't even
oh,
like
shit.
a 10-day thing. It was,
Yeah.
it was like 90 minutes. All
Yo,
of a
no
sudden,
time to
KP wasn't
prepare,
a Knick.
bro. No time to prepare. All of a sudden, it's a blockbuster trade. I'm like, whoa, what's going on, man?
Yeah, and you wonder if like, you know, and obviously I like Steve Mills a lot, and if he
Yeah.
really knew like, okay, maybe we got to get rid of this dude. Obviously, you bring back Dennis Smith, who's not good at NBA basketball,
No.
better at basketball than you and I, but he's
Right.
not good at NBA basketball. But then you get these picks and you bring in Randle, and maybe Steve was on to something.
Maybe, man. Maybe. At least he's got his board seat. You know what I mean? Dolan didn't ditch him completely. He still left him on the board. So
Yeah.
definitely want to shout out. Salute to everybody in the chat. Shout out PMO Phillip in the chat. What's going on? How you feeling? We got Navy Blue 76. All the mods. Appreciate you. Gotham says OMG Jerome James. Kevin Woodridge says Eddie Curry. What's good, Kevin? How you feeling? My guy JJ from Brooklyn is in the chat. David Futternick, what's going on? True Pace says, love the chat. Love Knicks. Let's go. Salute to you. I didn't see any hashtag news in here, but throw your cities in the chat, man. Let us know where you guys are checking in from. We'll shout you guys out as well. CP Anthony MSG in the building. All right, we'll take a couple more calls before we wrap. Let's go to Kevin from Maryland. Kevin, what's going on?
What's going on?
How you doing, bro?
How you doing, CP?
Good,
I'm
good.
doing good. Good. Oh, quick question. Well, I just read that the Nets signed Mike James, and I thought the Knicks. I know the Knicks were in talks to try to get him as well.
Yeah.
I know he's a good European player, but as usual, the Nets are always trying to play spoiler to the New York Knicks
Right.
in any and everything they try to get. But I like the team that we have right now. They're young. They're going to be one of the up-and-coming young teams for the NBA. LeBron James can't play forever. Kevin Durant won't be playing forever. These guys are getting older, and as the NBA progresses, it's starting to become younger and younger, and I like that.
Yeah, well, it's good to see that at the very least. Appreciate the call, Kev. It's good to see that at the very least we have some semblance of a young core, right? We just talked about earlier the curse of Charlie Ward and who might break it, but it's encouraging still to see, yes, we have a bevy of vets, and I think you need that. A lot of the guys that come on the show, bro, they talk about the fact that you need quality veterans to win, and I think you've seen that in having Derrick Rose, having guys like Taj, even Julius at this point. He's still young, but 7 years in the league, he's grown, he's matured, and that's showing on the court. But it's still good to see that we have at least a semblance of a young core with RJ, Emmanuel Quickly, We'll see how long Mitch is here for, but at least, Mitch was coming around before his injuries. At least we have those three. OB starting to play a little bit better. How long he's here, we'll see, but we'll see where that goes. At least, in that mix of vets, you have some young guys that are big contributing factors to this roster this year.
No, absolutely, and that's something the Knicks have not had for a long time, where you have a good team that can get to the playoffs, perhaps advance, but also you're not going to have obviously there'll be changes next year, but you're not going to have a brand new roster again. So even when, let's say we lose in the first round, hopefully we don't, or the second round, or the conference finals, you're going to say to yourself, I'm excited about next year's team.
Yeah.
Where every end of the season the last few years is like, this year sucked, and what is next year going to be?
Yeah.
Where this year is going to be like, yo, this year was good. What is next year going to be?
Right. What is next year gonna bring, man? 4 draft picks in this draft. Gotta think they're walking out with 2. I think two will be. They're not gonna draft all 4. At least all 4 on the roster next year, because I think Thibs they're gonna start looking. They're gonna start looking to make their move.
Absolutely.
I don't know, what it'll be or who it will be, but you got to think that with 4 draft picks, all 4 of these young guys are not gonna be making the team. So. We'll see what they do.
100% agree.
We'll see what they do, man. I want to shout out in the chat. Shout out Evan Kupferberg. He's team #new. We got K Flood in the chat from Amityville. Salute to Amityville. LI stand up. We got Gotham checking in from the Heights. Salute to Gotham. My guy Lash checking in from Dallas. We got Chip. Chip is also checking in from Washington Heights, 180th Street. Salute to Washington Heights. Michael Anderson says Jared Jeffries MVP. Darnell Greed.
Jared did. I learned to like Jared over the course of time.
Yeah,
he had butterfingers, but he did have a high basketball IQ. But his butterfingers drove me nuts, just like Elfrid Payton and his miss chip shots.
Absolutely, bro. 100%.
The butterfingers were mind-boggling. By the way,
100%. Let's hear from Kenyon from Brooklyn. Kenyon, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, CP? Anthony, what's going on, man?
My guy Kenny, what's up,
brother? Are you going to talk about your tendency to take basketball shots? You've never seen a shot you didn't like.
Well, CP didn't ask me about my playing skills, But
I wanted to talk about my one concern with the team going forward. I think we're going to finish with 40 wins, but my concern is Elfrid Payton. Like, when Burks come back, we should really look to ice Payton out the rotation. You look at the plus minus. We fall behind every game with that guy on the court. I'd rather just say, keep Rose come off the bench and let Burks handle the point and let quickly get some point guard burn.
Not going to happen.
I think Elfrid Payton is.
I get your point, but it's not going to happen. Thibs trusts Payton too much.
Yeah, I guess so, man. But anyway,
I get where you're coming from. Just there's zero chance that happens.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Kenyon. Thanks for the call, man.
All right, man. Take care. Peace.
Thanks,
Kenny,
man.
my God. Thank you, brother.
I'm with you, bro. I think Thibs likes Payton. Thibs likes Payton more than we do. And he was on the record as saying, he said, listen, I like that Payton gives us some switchability on the defensive side, that he's big, he's strong, and he doesn't get pitched around on the mismatches. Thibs is defense first, and that's how he's analyzing the game. I think Alec Burks will give you an adequate defense.
I don't like Alec running the point, though. I like when he can come off screen.
It's a little iffy.
The ball on the deck. He can create his own shot.
Yeah.
I don't want Alec Burks.
I look at Burks as like the emergency point. You know what I'm saying? Like when you need him out there because you need extra spacing and extra offense, he's capable at running the point. I just don't think Thibs goes there as a reliable piece.
Elfrid Payton is here to stay for at least the rest of this season.
Yeah. And with Payton, if we see him, you just want to see him knock down those shots in the rim. Get those layups.
I don't care if you miss threes even. Just make the shots in the paint. I get nervous when he gets in the paint.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a weird feeling as a fan. I don't want to be nervous when my point guard goes up for a layup, but I am with him.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Let me see what my guy Davis tell me right now. Okay, my guy Papa Left is here. All right, so we'll close with Papa Left. Salute to A.O. Powell. He sends a super chat. He says, Jared Harper, a.k.a. Mario Stanfield, and Miles Powell just got signed to a 10-day. What kind of precedent do you think this sets this late in the season? So according to Ian, I think Jared Harper's contract is a 10-day, but it's to get him some more income. For Miles Powell, it's the same thing, but what Ian was saying is that Miles Powell is not expected to stay with the team.
Right.
So what it seems like is that they just want to get this kid an extra bag for coming through, and I don't know, but Powell's not sticking around. But it just seems like they just want to get him in here and get him some cash, and then that's good on them. I think
And Jared Harper will probably be here for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Harper goes from a 2-way to a 10-day, and then I think he'll probably get a vet minimum type of deal. So again, low level moves. I don't expect them, these guys to come up and make an immediate impact with the team, but still contributors in the bench and still contributors in practice. So the front office obviously.
And you need, and I'll tell you what, guys like that are important. When you have a guy like a Jared Harper and these guys who aren't playing at all, being the biggest cheerleaders on the bench and not sulking, CP, that's so important for the mental makeup of a team.
True. Yeah, Pinson, bro. I never seen this guy so happy to not play.
Yeah, right. No, Penson as well. I mean, he's amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, like David Wingate back in the day.
David Wingate, like Rick Brunson.
Rick Brunson, Eric Anderson.
Yeah.
Great 12th men.
100%. All right, let's close this thing out. My guy Papa Left from Jersey. Papa Left, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. You guys are just so consistent with this channel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. Shout out to Dave. I just wanted you guys to rank from 1 to 3 who's most responsible for this turnaround with Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau, and Julius Randle. And I just wanted to speak on Thibs real quick. Thibs, it really made sense when I try to look him up and find his backstory. This dude, I don't know if anybody knows this, but this dude in college, if you know the story, shout out to you. But in college, apparently he was dating 2 girls with the same name.
What?
And he dumped one of them. I'm sorry, this is a real story, by the way. You can look it up. He dumped one of them, and the other one, he decided he got engaged, and he broke off the engagement, and his mother told him to give back the ring because that's rude.
What?
And he gave back the engagement ring, and then he is quoted as saying, "I am a basketball coach. I have no time for a woman in my life." So when you look at Thibs pissed off that dude's not closing out to good wins on the Hawks, this is a level of frustration possibly that no man can bear for 60 some odd years of life. So that's an interesting backstory to the legend of Thibs. But going forward, I just wanted to hear who you guys think is most responsible for this year. I don't see that he's married, but 3 years, 3 guys, Rose, Julius, and Thibs. Rank those as part of who's most responsible. And then if you could finish this sentence, the Knicks will make an extended playoff run if. And have a good night.
All right. You want
responsible
take
for the
first?
turnaround?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Julius first because he's actually on the court. Julius number 1, Thibs right below him, and then Rose. And then the Knicks will make a deep playoff run if those other guys like Alec Burks, Reggie Bullock, even Elfrid Payton step up. I truly believe RJ, Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, they're gonna step up. If those other guys that you get contributions from, like Burks, like Reggie Bullock, like Taj Gibson, if they can still contribute, then this Knicks team will make a deep playoff run.
I'm going Thibs first, bro, because I feel like it's their defense that has kept them in these games and allowed them to get these wins. This offense is
to be
still
honest,
struggle.
I do think it's Thibs first too. I just kind of wanted to give it to Julius.
Yeah,
of course.
But
in my heart and brain, I know it's Thibs.
Yeah, I'm going Thibs first because, like I said, outside of, yes, Burks is a new piece and D Rose is a new piece, this is largely Fizdale's same team, for the most part. And this is night and day from a defensive standpoint where these guys are locked in. You rarely see them making mistakes. Remember in previous years, especially last year, when a guy would get a bucket on him and guys would be looking at each other, pointing fingers like, was that you? Was that you? What's going on? They're rarely out of sync on the defensive end, bro. They are locked in.
And like I was saying, even games we lose, we're never down by 15 in the fourth quarter.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the effort most of the time is there. You rarely see games where it's just like, all right, they let go of the rope, they quit tonight. Last year that it was in abundance. I think Thibs is number one. Julius definitely number two, easily number two. Crazy bounce back year, most improved year for sure. And then I would say Leon Rose third. Knicks make it to the second round. Depending on how they execute their half-court offense, they're going to see a lot more zone. They're going to see more double teams from Julius. He's got to, make quick decisions, make it impactful decisions. They have to cut down in the turnovers in the half-court. And then piggybacking on what you said, that supporting cast, Bullock, Burks, especially Derrick Rose, they have to come up big and they have to be consistent in the playoffs for us to have a chance.
And Emmanuel quickly as well.
Yes,
I think Julius is great with making quick decisions. Like when he gets doubled, like if you look at that play to where it went to overtime on Wednesday night, he got the ball ISO 5 seconds left. I think Julius thought he was going to get doubled and he was going to pass it right away. Instead, they single covered him. He ended up taking a really horrible shot. He missed. And then we ended up dominating in overtime.
Yeah.
So, we're definitely probably going to see a lot of zone, but I think we've been much better against the zone during the streak.
They've gotten better. But I just think that that impacts RJ a lot. And it's going to impact Julius. So we got to see how they execute in the half court. I think if they can execute in the half court and be better against the zone, combined with, that supporting cast. Reggie Bullock shot 12 threes on the Hawks team. We need that every night. He's got to let it fly. He's a starting three. He's a starting two.
Let it fly.
He's got to let that fly, bro. We need that from him. We need that production from him.
And maybe Mitchell Robinson. Is he going to come back?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so, man. You think so?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
With two bad injuries, the hand and the foot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure from a business decision, from a future standpoint. I don't think they rush him. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor, but
I don't know either. I don't know.
I just don't feel like Mitch is gonna be back, man.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But if he can come back and give you a few minutes, that's not a bad thing either.
Oh, of course. So I thought Papa Left was gonna be the closer, but we got a last minute call in. We gotta go to her. It's the Knicks chick. Maria's in the building, closing us out. Maria, what's going on?
What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Good.
What's up, Maria?
What's up, Ann? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. That chicken sandwich knocked me out yesterday.
We had lunch and Ant was out for 3 hours.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
Did you have that chicken sandwich, by the way, Maria?
I did. It was banging. Shout out to Empanology and Bronx Brewery while we're at it.
Yeah, I got to check that out, man. Definitely been meaning to check out Bronx Brewery before the pandemic. So once things subside, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Good. Well, I'm going to let Ant tell it, but he's got something brewing for up there. So stay tuned.
Okay. All right.
Stay tuned. Yeah. So I just want to say tips for Coach of the Year. I know I already heard you guys talk about it a bit before, but, I think that he's not like a few other coaches that shall remain nameless that were just handed a beautiful team and, did what they were supposed to do with it.
Exactly.
And I think it's a rare occasion that we get to compare really like apples to apples year after year where we have almost an identical team and you can really see the progress that he's been able to make, and we didn't add a marquee player. Like we made a marquee player out of a veteran, like Julius Randle is not a rookie, a second year player. You're talking about a guy who could have already been set in his ways, set in his weight also. So you managed to change the work ethic and play style and turnover to assist ratio of Julius Randle. That's huge, in addition, of course, to the growth that RJ has made and everybody else and Bullock playing solid, but I just think it's such a rare opportunity to be able to compare somebody for Coach of the Year with almost identical team year,
True.
From one year to next.
True story.
And he's just proven that he's done something nobody else is ever able to do.
Big time.
So regardless of our record, we're up there. Our record is phenomenal for who we are and what everybody expected us to be. But I think that even if it's not comparable to, the record that Doc Rivers holds or that Utah has, I just think that he's made such a huge case for it.
100%. 100%. And as we said, and he's doing a lot with a little, man.
Yeah, how many times have you seen it? Like Maria just said, how many times? Basically, the roster's give or take the same as last year. Yeah. Obviously, you added Obi quickly, Alec Burks, and Nerlens Noel, but nobody major. And to go from a team that was 800 games under 500 last year to a potential 4 seed, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Crazy. Don't make me do the math. You know I'm a math teacher. Don't make me do the math and show you the percentage of improvement because I know he'll win if I do the numbers.
Gonna get Maria a job in the analytics department.
Yeah, 100%, man. Definitely just been a sight to see with this team. 6 games over 500. What can I say? I should have bet on Vegas. I should have taken that bet. I fell for it, man. I fell for it. Once they said 22 wins, I said, Vegas always knows. So I said, damn, I'm going with 26. I'll give my team
off on this one. I think everybody was.
They were off. They were off, man. So let's get this W tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is gonna be tricky, man. Toronto won 4 in a row.
Tomorrow, 9 in a row.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but Toronto won 4 in a row. They're coming in fully healthy. The Anobi Siakam versus RJ Julius matchup is going to be key for me. They're moving Gary Trent Jr. to the bench with Malachi Flynn. Them two versus D Rose and quickly off the bench. That's going to be a matchup. The Knicks got to come in ready, man, because this Toronto team, they're only half game out of 10th for the play-in, so they're going to come in ready. And they lost a tough close game to the Knicks.
We're on fire, and we're home.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a big game. It's going to be 70 degrees outside. So it's a short stay at the Garden. So tomorrow's a huge game, and the 2,000 fans that will be in the building are going to be fired up. There's no doubt about that.
100% facts. Marie, appreciate you calling in, man. Enjoy the weekend for sure. The Knicks Chick in the building.
You guys too. I'll see you at a game soon.
Absolutely.
Later, Maria.
That was Maria from Queens, a.k.a. the Knicks Chick. Make sure you guys give her a follow on Instagram as well. And great show, man. Great show.
It was great finally doing this. I know we've talked about this for a while. A lot of people on Twitter, kept saying we got to do it.
100%.
Now, what a perfect time to do it. 8-game winning streak, and every time you want, we'll do it again. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, man. When we get closer to this playoff push, we'll definitely do it. And when they go on the road, maybe we'll bring you in for a post game show as well. Chop it up with the people.
I'm with it, man. I'm getting back on my grind. I basically took almost 2 years off doing Knicks content.
Yeah.
So I'm back. I'm back.
No doubt, man. Let the people know. I'm going to throw the screen on you. Just let the people know where they can find you, bro.
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Anthony MSG. Holla at me. And like CP said, put the thumbs up for the boys at KnicksFanTV. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. You, Ashley, everybody else, y'all doing incredible.
Appreciate it, man. Always appreciate it. And salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Anthony MSG. Hit that like button for Anthony MSG on this Mailbag episode. Remember, the show's available in audio podcast format. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the main ones so you don't miss it. This episode is presented by Manscaped as usual. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code Knicks. #1 men's grooming tool from head to toe. Earlier this morning, I was on with those guys at Sportsnet 590 in Toronto talking about this Knicks 8-game winning streak, and we previewed the Knicks versus Raptors game. So make sure you check that out. TM or the mods in the chat if you throw that in the chat for the people to watch. And man, got a ton of content on this. Salute to Replay Gang for those of you that are going to be watching later on this evening and into the morning. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Big game Saturday, matinee game, Knicks versus Raptors. Don't sleep. Like I said, this Raptors team is coming in healthy, and they're going to want some revenge on the Knicks. So Knicks got to come in ready to go. This Raptors team is going to fight them defensively as well. So we'll see what happens. Anthony will be at the game. Follow him for game coverage. And you know where to keep it locked to after the game. KnicksFanTV, #1 show for the fans by the fans. We out of here.